Well, let's have a look and see if we can figure out a. Let's have a look and see if we can figure out a. Let's have a look and see if we can figure out a. Let's have a look and see if we can figure out a. Well, that's annoying. Well, that's annoying. Well, that's annoying. Okay, now that we solved that little echo issue, let's see if we can figure out a way for us to start a hospital from scratch. And let's start with a little clinic, and then we can start building it out later as we play a little bit longer. For now, let's see what we should start with. Now, I'm going to go with a basic sandbox with a lot of space. So I'm going to go for a big empty field. We're not unlocking anything. Patients can die. This is basically the kind of scenario that happens in real life, and we are going to start a hospital from scratch and see if we can make it profitable enough and also successful enough to make sure people don't, die all the time. This game has one of the noisiest soundtracks I've ever experienced. It's actually kind of fun. It quiets down sometimes, but sometimes it's just going to pick up again. It's going to go like basically take over the sound of the game. It's not a bad soundtrack, but it can get repetitive a little bit sometimes. Alright, so first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that there's a bunch of doctors that can take care of a bunch of patients. Now we can expect to see no patients whatsoever. But if we look at the insurance companies, we can see that as soon as we actually open our little hospital, they're going to start sending about 10 patients to us at the same time. So we get 10 patients a day. That is not enough to keep people alive, or well, we can keep those 10 people alive, but it's not enough to keep our doctors paid. So we have to make sure that we start getting as profitable as we can as soon as we can, which means we need to start unlocking better insurance companies as soon as possible. For example, we could cheat the system a little bit by creating a doctor. And we're going to do that. We're going to spend 10,000 euros, dollars, whatever the currency of this game is. We're going to spend 10,000 on creating a doctor that we're going to name after us. And then we actually get 10 patients a day more, and they also pay 115% of what we normally see. Also, it opens up a bunch of nice gameplay opportunities for us. So let's start at the very beginning. The emergency room. Now, for those of you who've never actually played a game like this before, the idea is to design a hospital, but this is not one of those funny hospital sims. This is one of those hospital sims that tries to actually mimic the way a real hospital works, which means you get actual diseases and actual tests to test for the diseases that people can have. We need waiting rooms, we need doctors to have offices, we need a reception that can do triage. You don't actually need a reception, but it's useful to have one because they reveal some simple symptoms sometimes. And you need a janitor to be able to clean everything. You don't need a janitor to clean everything, but if you don't have one, then stuff is going to get dirty real fast and people are going to be even more sicker. So the red zeros is what we need. So we need a waiting room, at least one doctor's office, and a restroom. Let's go slightly overboard and build something a little bit more. Now, for example, we need to make foundations to be able to build anything at all. And I'm going to make the front door exactly as big as those beautiful yellow stripes, which, by the way, is the place where the ambulance parks whenever they need to dump new patients on our doorstep. We don't actually have any ambulances, but we might as well prepare for that. So front door, the big one, is going to go over here. Now, our reception should probably be in here somewhere. Let me zoom in a bit. All right. So imagine that we have an outer wall here. There we go. And that wall, which we're going to hide, is going to have doors. Now, we can have sliding doors, but, this is not symmetrical, which would give me a headache if it were the case. So I'm going to use double glass doors. There and there. And I'm going to put one single glass door in the middle just because I can. And I'll make that, well, heck. There, that's what we needed. I'm going to put down some glass walls again, make it a nice glass front. You know what? I'm going to remove this door anyway. There, and replace it with a glass wall, because 2 big double doors should be more than enough. Now, generally speaking, if you walk into a hospital, first thing you want to actually do is get triaged at the reception desk. So we should probably put a reception desk right after the entrance. Now, again, we don't specifically and officially need one, but I'm going to make one anyway because I can. There we go. Big reception area. Now, the reception area is going to need a desk. Now, we want this to be immediately recognizable as, please come here if you are sick, and then we will tell you where to go. So we want a big giant eye on there. Now, there's a problem with this game. And one of the problems with this game is that as soon as you hire somebody to work in a certain spot, then that spot becomes locked, which means you can't actually change anything about it anymore. So that means if you want to adapt furniture, you got to do it before you hire somebody, or you need to reassign somebody temporarily. But sometimes when you do, their chair stays locked, which is annoying. So I need to format this in a reception desk kind of color. Now, of course, reception desks in an emergency room have to be red, because red means danger, which is exactly what emergency rooms are all about. Now, we also want people to be able to wait for just a second until they are ready to be helped. So I'm going to put chairs there, there, and there. So people can come in, sit down while they're waiting, and then they can step in there. Also, does this need anything else? Yeah, water. There we go. Receptionist needs a drink of water every now and then. And let's not go overboard. Coffee vending machines, we can find those later. But it might be useful for her. Usually a her. But I'm gonna guess we might actually have a him. To have a printer as well. I wouldn't know why, but you know. Alright, so that's our reception area. It's relatively small and we can make it more impressive later. We reserved a 7 by 7 meter spot in there. So this still leaves enough. No, this doesn't actually leave enough room. I need to put this thing somewhere else. You know what? I'm going to put a nice little wall behind this reception area, and then I'll put the machine, and I'm going to add coffee anyway, and maybe even something like snacks. Do we have a snack machine? Vending machine. There we go. Put that right there, and then we'll put a wall, because sometimes you just want to build a wall. A wall with red stripes. There we go. Put a wall behind the reception area. There we go. That way, the receptionist has a wall behind him or her, and that makes their life easier, I think. In fact, we could even do this. Yeah, let's do this. And then have a door with a don't enter right there. That way, there's some privacy for the person sitting there. You know, any violent patients have to climb over the desk to be able to get to them. I'm just improvising here because I've never actually seen violent patients, but we still have a big open path that they can use for stretchers with the ambulance to get through the hospital. Awesome. All right. Now, the next part of where you end up when you get to a place like this is, of course, the waiting area. Now, we're going to need a little bit more foundation to get a waiting area. Let's have another 7 by 7 meters. There we go. Of waiting area. That's not a lot for now. For now, it's enough, because if there's 20 people coming in a day, I have 7 by 7 meters, more than enough just for them to visit a bunch of doctors. And I can put the doctor's offices right along there and right along there. That way, we can remove 1 or 2 of them later to make room for some like really emergency stuff over here. For now, though, they just need doctors to do whatever it is doctors really do. So let's see. I'm gonna make 6x4. Doctor's offices. There we go. And another 6x4 times 3. There we go. Doctor's offices. Now, let's assign spaces there before we do anything else. Waiting room, right there. Now, we need to be able to pass through this waiting room because there's going to be stuff over here. But we will assign this to be a doctor's office, and this, and that. Now, you may be wondering, why am I drawing all these offices now? Why don't I just build a bunch and copy them? Assuming, of course, you're familiar with this game. And I'm doing that so that I have an idea of the floor plan that I'm going to be building, which means that I also have some idea about where I need to manage space. Let's see. Now, for example, we also need a common room where the doctors, do their relaxation thing. There. I'm gonna make that 5x7. Probably big enough for the doctors right now, just for this specific little department. And this means that there's going to be corridor there and corridor there, right? There's going to be a split. And I am going to need to draw more foundations. So there is the foundations for the common room. That is the foundation for the corridor we're going to have there. And then let's have a bathroom here, cleaning closet there. And we should probably put the elevator banks right there somewhere. Can I build a reservation for elevators? How does that work again? Yep, there we go. So a reservation for an elevator would go there. Right. Doesn't exactly fit, but I'm going to do it anyway. There. All right. Now, this is a reservation for an elevator. Cost me a couple thousand to build, but sometimes you need to spend a bunch of money to see how things go. Also, I can expect to get a lot of subsidies really quickly after the start of the game because we're going to be doing a lot of those little things, achieving a bunch of stuff where the computer's going to go, oh yeah, now you earned this and this amount of money because you did something that is impressive and that people like, or well, we'll get there when we get there. Trust me, it's going to be amazing. All right, so that is the outer wall of our hospital. Now, we're going to be drawing some inner walls. I'm going to use emergency room red right along all the interesting walls. Right there. Now, that means that we are going to be marking where is the... Oh, I hope this works, actually. I think I made a massive mistake. Nope, no mistakes. All right. So, because I thought the restrooms had to be at least 3x3, but they don't have to be. They can be 3x2. And the cleaning closet has similar requirements. Yep, 3x2. So I can do that with that. There we go. Now, should probably mark a few areas as corridor right there and right there. Now what that does is it tells you, hey, this is still part of the same department, but it also manages priorities of the cleaning staff. They will probably go like, oh, I need to clean the corridor last because the waiting room and the doctor's offices are more important. Now let's go. Did I miss something? Oh yes, there's a whole bunch of other walls that I still need to buy and build. There we go. I'm not building a wall here. This is just a ceremonial difference between two spaces. But I'm going to build a wall there. and there. And there. And we'll build walls with different patterns on them, the other lines that we have here. So for example, the doctor's break room has wood paneling. It's because doctors deserve better, right? And I think the doctor's offices should actually also have the same kind of wood paneling. And that's because I want to keep things slightly uniform. There we go. And let's color them from the other side as well. There we go. Bunch of doctor's offices, waiting room. Oh yeah, and then we want tiling for the cleaning area and for the bathrooms. So right there, right there, right there, right there. Also right there and right there. Okay, now we can start looking at floors. For the cleaning area and for the bathroom, let's have tiles. Yeah, tiles are awesome. For the doctor's, there we go. That's where the doctors go to have fun or relax or whatever you want to call that. And for the spaces where they, you know what, I'm gonna have the same wooden flooring in there and in there. It's not super realistic because in an actual hospital that would be terrible to clean. But I'll put the linoleum flooring there. There we go. You go this way. And there we go. You go that way. I'm going to put the rest of the floor in the same kind of pattern. There. Now, the red floor means you are currently in the emergency department. Yay. Okay, now I'm going to build two doctor's offices from scratch. The left kind and the right kind, because I want the doors to be across from each other. Oh, I just noticed I forgot a wall. See, that wall is colored. Yep. Okay. So the doctors have, let's say, glass doors. No, bad idea because patients need to undress sometimes. We'll call it white doors. There we go. There, and across from that, there. Now, how do we deal with people waiting, right? People need to be able to sit. They also need to have one of those little TVs that tell them when they can come in. Oh, and there needs to be a restricted area door that leads into the common area for the doctors. Now, there we go. Let's start with the waiting room. The waiting room needs to have benches. Let's make them red because they fit the theme better. All right, let's see. I want a 2-meter line there, which means we need 1, 2, and then like that. All right, so we can have a relatively small waiting area here. There, I should see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 people. Should be enough for now in the beginning, and if not, then we'll start adding a bunch of chairs to this or rearranging things, because we could theoretically put them in a different configuration. For example, we could do this. Yeah, let's do it now anyway, just because we can. There we go, because that doesn't have to be 2. Also, no, it's kind of nice to have this opening. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 chairs for the clinic. That means that 6 doctors at work plus 12 people sitting down is 18 people. If everybody comes in at the same time, we have 2 people standing, and that's not going to happen anyway. So also they're going to spread out over the hospital a little bit as we grow, and we're going to have some labs and stuff. So I think it's going to be fine. All right, let's finish up some of the wall work. There we go. Do I miss anything else? Nope, I think we covered all the walls. Like, literally, we covered the walls. Oh, no, wrong color. Covered all the walls with some colory stuff, except this one. And that one. Okay, next step is to make sure that we can actually do some doctoring, which is kind of important when you think of it, because doctoring is kind of the core business of what we do here. We are missing one thing that is kind of crucial, and I am going to have to, nope, I don't have to, I can put it there. I am going to have to hang up a TV with information on it. In fact, I'm going to do one there and one there. And I'll put up queuing machines there and there. Meaning people come in, they push a button, they sit down, and they get called with the TV. All right, now let's decorate one of these little doctor's offices. Of course, they need an exam table. Yes, of course, that's what you came here for, to be examined. So we want that to be a prominent feature of the room. There we go. A doctor needs a desk, but we don't know exactly where we want that desk yet. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to add a nice little chair to it where the doctor sits. Beautiful chair. And I'm going to also add a chair for the patient to sit in. You might wonder why. Well, it's more comfortable for a patient to sit down while they're being interviewed about their horrible problems in life. There we go. So let's continue. We have this doctor who has an office, and the doctor is going to need a computer. Otherwise, they can't register what is wrong with the patient. They also need a printer for prescriptions. We do things digitally these days, but they haven't gotten that message over there yet. They also need some equipment, which we can hang above their office desk, and they need to be able to wash their hands. I'll put that in the corner right there because they need to examine somebody over here, and then they can wash their hands immediately after. They're probably standing on that side, but whatever. Well, there. That's probably going to work. Now, medical lights obviously need to come from the ceiling. So then we need some spaces to put all this testing equipment. I think equipment tables would be great for that. We'll put one there and there. And we'll add the CRP scan audiometer right there. And we're going to put an eye test on the wall right across from the chair. There we go. Biohazard bin, yes, also very important because terrible toxic stuff gets used by doctors. And a chartboard. Now the chartboard serves a very important function. The chartboard is there for differential diagnosis, which means they can do some brainstorming, sometimes even with other doctors at the same time. All right, now does this office need anything else so that we have a happy doctor working there? Tough question. We've already given him a bookshelf, him or her. Dressing screens, just take up space, don't actually do anything useful. Maybe some decorations. A clock, yes, every doctor needs a clock. We'll hang it up right above the examination table. And disinfectant tools, they have a sink. First, does a doctor need a first aid? Nah, doctors don't need first aid kits. They have equipment cabinets. The daily menu is great, but it's useful in there, not in here. Plant, maybe a plant. This doctor needs a plant. Yeah, I can tell. This is a plantless doctor. They need one. Also a skull, but I don't have any room to put it. Yep, that'll do. Alright, now I'm going to build this exact same thing in mirror image. You may be wondering, why? Why exactly would you want to do that? Well, very simple, because I know the design works. Obviously, this design is going to malfunction a bit because the arrows go a different direction now, but that shouldn't be an issue. At least I'm hopeful that it shouldn't be an issue. Let's have a look. Bio first, CRP scans second. There we go. Biohazard bin right next to that. And then the desk, the chair for the patient. Oh yeah, there was a whiteboard. Oh no, wait, there's a wall-mounted one. Chartboard. There we go. Oops. Chartboard, and it was right next to the plant. I keep pushing buttons, which is kind of annoying. So, chartboard, that's what I was doing. This time rotated instead of skipping to a different screen. Eye test, right across from the chair still. And we have a medical light, which is also an examination lamp. There we go. We have a hanging equipment cabinet. Right there. And we also had a sink right there. What am I missing? Oh yes, doctor needs computer. There we go. And we had a bookshelf. We have an office chair. Why are you covering these? Printer. There we go. So of course we can't swap these to be, mirror images of these because you have to have the PC with the chair. What am I missing? I don't actually think I'm missing anything. Yeah, I am missing something. Bookshelf. There we go. Bookshelf. Now. Alright, so that's 2 doctor's offices. Let's add a third. I'm going to copy one and we'll leave some empty space for now. So I'm going to copy this one and stick it right there. There we go. Now we just need to really quickly format this. So we have a meal counter, which is very important for our poor starving doctors who also want to wash their hands next to that meal counter. So we'll put up a cabinet with a sink in it. Kitchen sink, there we go. Alright, so they can wash their hands and they're going to get some food. And this time we can, in the direction, this one, decorations thing, actually say, the daily menu today is cheese balls or whatever they serve in this thing today. Maybe a nice little info board. Now, you know what? Let's put the essentials in first. Which, for example, is the dining table. That gets to go right there. And the chairs go there, 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 there. No option for having a chair at the head of the table. Okay. We also want to have a sofa where they can sit for a while. Let's make it 2. And a little coffee table there where they can put the radio. Oh, can't because there's something in the way. Well, we'll put a nice little plant there then. Doctors love plants. That doesn't work either. Oh, isn't that useless? Alright, we're rid of that thing then. What are the essentials that we don't have yet? Coffee machine, yes, obviously. Another cabinet, this one with drawers. That should have the coffee machine on it. There we go. They can get coffee when they want. Now, doctors have to be entertained, so they need to read, because that's an intellectual pursuit that doctors would actually follow. And let's give them some space where they can put stuff in their lockers as well. The only thing missing here is a TV. Do we want to give them a TV? Yeah, we're going to give them a TV. On a coffee table, right there, is a TV. There. Now we have a space where doctors can just relax and be themselves for a while. Excellent. We've almost spent half of our budget, but now that we are kind of ready with that, we're going to hire some bunch of doctors. One of them is going to be the one that we create. Let's start at the very beginning. We're going to hire a receptionist, and we're going to hire a bunch of doctors. The receptionist should be somebody who is good at receptionisting. A good receptionist, funnily enough, is actually worth a bunch of money. Now, this one has 2 hidden traits. We have no idea what they are. That's why they're called hidden traits. But this is somebody who doesn't need to rest as much. And it's also expensive, but is also highly skilled. And if I look at the numbers, this is clearly by far the best receptionist we could hire for the job. I try not to skimp on receptionists because they actually do their triage much faster than cheaper receptionists could. We're also going to, we haven't actually filled a couple of essential spaces in our hospital. One of them would be the cleaning area. Let's start with the door. Restricted area, you shall not pass. And we can do the same with the toilet, only that we're going to put a door with an oval window in it. I haven't actually found a toilet door in this list, which is weird, because you would expect there to be like a toilet door, because we have them in real life. Alright, now, let's start with the bathroom, right? So the bathroom, the toilet, is going to have 2 stalls. And each of those stalls is going to have a door, because otherwise people can't do the needful, as they say. And then we need a sink and a hand dryer there as well. So let's do a couple of bathrooms. Toilet needs to turn at the hospital. There we go. And then we need a sink and a hand dryer. And then we have 1 square to actually walk around it. Yay! Let's put a mirror up in the sink as well. That's great. Okay. Can I put the trash bin under the... Yeah, amazing. There's a trash bin there too. Okay. Now, that brings us to the cleaning area. So, funnily enough, you only actually need 2 things. Supplies. Do it again. Turn by using this button. And bucket carts. Now, I always like to put the bucket carts as close to the door as I can, because that way they come in, they grab them, and they go away again. They don't actually use these shelves much. Okay. That means that we can now go back to the hiring thing we were doing. So, the janitor, let's start off with 1. Start off with 1 good janitor. Jennifer King. Efficient and dexterous. Excellent. You're hired. I didn't actually check what the good and bad traits were. Early bird. Okay, this person likes to work in the day and moves very fast. This is a good thing for a janitor. Okay. Now, let's start off with a bunch of doctors. Now, I want this office to be for our rookie, our newbie, the person we're going to create ourselves. So, we need to hire a boss doctor first. Oh, look, it's a boss doctor, but this is an anesthesiologist as well. We want somebody with advanced diagnosis and regular diagnosis and acute medicine and general medicine. So Mary White is going to be our team chief because this is somebody who has everything that they need. And I'm going to hire 2 relatively young doctors so that we can train them up internally. So first of them is going to be... These 2 know nothing, which is a little bit not good enough. This person does actually have some skill. So I want people to, not really die much. Also, this guy studies a lot, which is good. Yep. Now, I'm all for diversity. So we have a female boss, we have a male other doctor. I'm going to make another male other doctor there. But that's because I'm male, and I want this to be like my avatar in the game. So I'm going to create a doctor. Male doctor. Let's have him kind of look like me a little bit. There. This is actually what my beard looks like. Yep. Perfect. Well, maybe the hair. Yeah, no, this is much more like me. All right, good. So I'm a little bit more yellow than this. Slightly brownish. Yeah, more like that. And I'm going a little bit gray, but not that much. So I'm going to keep it like this. All right, this is a doctor. Intern level. We'll call him Wren's Gamings. All right, now this is somebody who is... I need to pick 2 good traits and a bad trait. What is a bad trait that we would give to our doctor? These are really terrible. I'm going to go with 30 shoes. So the janitor has to work a little bit harder around this guy, but at least it means he's good at his job for the rest of it. Now, let's see. Spartan. Yeah, he doesn't lose. So if it's really busy, he can't take many breaks, then at least he's not going to lose as many of his bits, as many of his... God, what was the word? Needs. His needs are going to decrease slower. That's good. Now, also... Yes, I'd like him to reveal hidden perks of people. Maybe he can reveal hidden perks of his colleagues as well. Might be nice if he meets up with them in the common room. So I'm going to hire this guy. We call him Wren's Gamings. And there. Now, that means we can now also contract Oopsie, which is right there. So we're going to get people from Cheapo Care, not very expensive, but if I treat one, then I'm going to get a 2,000 government grant. And if I then also control one of my doctors, I'm not doing that just yet. I'd like these 10 people to be 10 people, and I don't want to spend as much time on it. But if I start controlling this doctor and he gets a high rating, then he's going to get, better as a job really quickly. Okay, let's start the day shift. Of course, the janitor has nothing to do, so she gets to relax and watch TV. I'm going to skip ahead until the first patient comes in. There we go. Alright, so this one has swallow pain. Ooh. Lots of different things that could be. So she's going to get a thingy, sit down, and ding dong, it's time. And this one has only hidden symptoms. We don't know it yet. Well, let's see what happens. A new guy came in. He's got a fever. A new guy came in. He's got a fever. A new guy came in. We have another sound issue. Oops. Maybe I should have marked this as mature because they keep taking clothes off. Of course, even most of our kids know that sometimes you gotta take off a few clothes at the doctor's, right? So let's see how our patients are doing so far. First one that came out. Okay, we've eliminated most of the diagnoses, so it's either rheumatic fever or laryngitis. This is something with the throat, and I know exactly what. Oops, that wasn't a diagnosis. Oh, good, because I got it wrong. It's laryngitis. And this one has histoplasmosis or viral tonsillitis. Wow, complicated. As for this one, chickenpox. Oh yeah, that's nasty. So we're about to have treated our first patient because this one and this one already got their diagnosis, and this one is also done. So they're all gonna be raking us our first couple of bucks in treatment money. All right, we treated our first patient, which is worth 20,000, whatever the currency is in this game. We have loans, by the way. No, we don't have a loan. All right, second patient is also happy. Let's see what else they want us to do today. 3 patients. Okay, so as soon as I treat a third patient, we can actually get the uninsured patients as well. I'm not entirely sure that I want to go for that. And I say that, with the best of wills, but uninsured people don't bring in a lot of money, which is a problem for me as a hospital administrator. All right, time for us to skip ahead a little bit. Something weird happens, I'll get a pop-up. Okay, now we can get even more, but I'm not going to actually put in the uninsured thing yet. Oh. Chelation therapy. I wonder what that is. Okay, so she can't be treated because chelation therapy needs internal medicine. Well, nope, can't help this person. I am going to send her to a different hospital. Could I build an entire internal medicine department just for this person? Sure. But that isn't how this hospital works just yet. We are going to slowly expand. All right, well, we have this clinic up and running. We've done our first 2.5 hours of patients. I think it's time for us to take a break in this video, and then we'll continue in the next bit. This has been at least a good little couple of steps in setting up our first little bit of a clinic. Now, I'm assuming that the next time we start recording this video, we are going to start getting a need for more diagnostic equipment, like X-ray machines or blood work, that kind of thing. We'll pick up where we left off then.